and this is what I think I'm going to do with your sheriff's race. I'm going to look at who gave the most money to the candidate, and I'm going to go see that person. I'm going to ask that person, why are you giving that much money? I have a tape, I think we just got this in a guerrilla interview. This man gave $80,000 to Josh Lynn, who's running for district attorney, and he did everything possible to hide from any way anybody could find him. But guess who tracked him down and found him in less than 48 hours? Yes. Yes. You guessed right. It was me. I plead guilty as charged. I tracked this guy down, and I taped him for 20 minutes. He was very nervous. He was very upset that I found him. This guy was an investigator for the district attorney's office. Not a DA, not a lawyer, but an investigator for 27 years. And I went to pull his Form 700. It was one page. He virtually claims he has nothing. Yeah, we found him living in $1 million house, which wasn't listed on his Form 700. And his greatest concern is, how did you find me? No, it was Ron Zonin told you. No, I said it wasn't Ron Zonin. Oh, no, I said it wasn't Dozer either. Who? And I'm wondering, why is he so upset that I found him? I just want to ask him, why did you give $80,000? Well, he doesn't have any children that we know of. He's got an ex-wife. I want to show you this tape now for note the panic and nervousness in this guy. And think about it. We're going to have more for you on this guy. He's promised to sit down with me next week before I have the guy he gave the $80,000 to. So watch this. I'll be back with Fred Strong running for the 33rd Assembly. And boy, has he got some good stuff.
Ron Zonin is a friend of mine, and Ron Zonin is a fantastic prosecutor.
Gordy Auchincloss.
Another one of my friends, and a fantastic man. Just incredible man.
Okay. What's wrong with Lynn's opponent? If you just give me one thing, what was the misconduct? Because people want to know. They're coming up to a primary here on June 8th, and all they see is signs, but they don't have any information, and I think this is a really important race.
Well, I'll be more than happy to bring, the exact instances and give you the exact pages and the transcripts and everything, but
you need time to research that.
No, I don't. I have that available to me, and I can grab it, but now's really not the time to do that, to sit down with you. I'm not dressed appropriately. And,
okay, that's fine.
And if I'm going to sit down with you, I want to do it in a professional way. But these two candidates are night and day, and I wouldn't extend my passion for the DA's office, and I care about everybody there and what their future is and what they're going to be left with, depending on which candidate gets in.
Right.
And there's a vast difference there of what's going to happen to this community and for the people that I'm left there, my family there, for what could happen there. And I don't want to see the office turned into a big political machine or politicized. And I want to see that look, when you're in the prosecutor's office, you have to have just impeccable integrity and ethics. And that's got to be pervasive throughout the entire office, and that has to be the rule.
Can you call me back next week and give me a date where you can sit down and you can be appropriately addressed and have time to review your notes and we can get it on tape? Because this is coming up quick. We don't have much time.
I can, actually probably next week's probably, I don't know, when do you...
I broadcast live every Friday night. It goes live, and then we put clips on YouTube. You can find them under Wm Wagener. Well, let me be clear. Let me be real clear about this. Boy, it's hot here under these television lights. This man who you just saw did not want to be found. And he was panicky. Obviously, he was nervous. So we're going to give him a chance to sit down. And he didn't donate $80,000. He lent $80,000. But even still, lending $80,000, I went to the other side, Miss Dudley's side, and tried to get two different people. Neither one would answer their door. They're hard to find, just like this guy was. He's not listed, doesn't have a listed phone number. His Form 700 doesn't give his address. He supposedly owns nothing, has no stocks and bonds, and yet he had $80,000 to lend to Josh Lynn, running for DA. Now that's not a crime, but I really want to know what would a guy whose only degree is a high school diploma and 27 years working for the DA's office, and he's got $80,000? On the other hand, Miss Dudley, Joyce Dudley, who's his opposition to Josh Lynn, and I'm going to give her free time to get her piece in. This is interesting, people. The DA, to me, there's two important races. That's not who's president or who's governor. Those are not really important. If you have your county under control, if your sheriff won't arrest you and your DA won't prosecute you, most of your civil liberties will be intact. If your sheriff, well, like Sheriff Mack said at Fresno Tea Party, he said the country now hangs by the sheriffs. It's up to the sheriffs. It's our last chance, the sheriffs, to defend us against tyranny. And I hope Bill Brown, sheriff for this county, and the sheriff in San Luis Obispo County, what's his name, Fred?
The current sheriff?
Yeah, the current sheriff going out.
Jim. I can't think.
Sheriff Jim of San Luis Obispo County. Gee, Jim, how quickly they forget you. As soon as you're on the way out, Fred's already forgotten your name. That's okay. I have those senior moments too. It comes with age, but also wisdom comes with age. And I'm talking to Fred here just minutes before we went on the air, and I think Fred has a great deal of wisdom. So we're going to bring you Joyce, we're going to bring you Josh Lynn, and we're going to bring you more of the people that gave the most money to each campaign. I want to know why. $80,000 was lent from this guy named Dan Raimer, and the most thing he was concerned about is, please don't reveal where I live. How did you find me? How did you find me? I mean, he was panicking that I found him. Well, hello. I found a murderer up in Oregon. He didn't expect to be found either. Now, back to our local man here, Fred Strong, years of experience. So this governor, some people called him Governor Flip-Flop. Some people, do you remember why they
Governor
called him?
Moonbeam.
And Governor Moonbeam. Do you know why they called him Flip-Flop?
Well, he couldn't make up his mind. And also, he had an interesting thing.
No, he was against Prop 13, which saved elderly people's homes. Remember
Oh,
Prop
yes.
13?
I was county chairman in Sonoma County.
You were, well,
for Prop
let me
13.
shake your hand. Then you know who the two, Paul, and who was the other sponsor?
Oh, you're talking about Gann and
No.
Jarvis.
Jarvis,
Yeah.
right. His
Howard.
picture's,
Howard
Jarvis' picture's still right next to my workstation.
Oh, yeah.
He's long dead and gone, but that
and
man
Paul
was a
Gann
hero.
used to come and he would say that when he first got married, he promised his wife that they would one day live in a $100,000 home, and sure enough, they finally made it. It's the same home they bought for $10,000.
That is unfortunately true, but that's another issue. That's the fiat money of the Federal Reserve, and Bush and Obama, to me, are both equally guilty of giving away billions. And we've got a candidate for governor coming up. No, it's not that one. No, it's not that one either. It's a beautiful woman. So that rules out Meg Whitman. And that rules out Steve, and that rules out Ken. But you're going to want to hear this candidate, especially if you're a Tea Party activist. If you've been watching my show a long time, you're going to want to hear this lady. And I know nobody's mentioned to you before, we're going to give her fair time. We've already offered Steve Poizner time. He blew it off. Meg, I wouldn't let her on my studio if she paid me. Wow. So that tells you how I feel, but I'm not endorsing anybody. If she paid me $1,000, I would not let Meg Whitman on this because of her pro-abortion, her high tax and spend policy. I wouldn't just let. But we're getting back here to Fred, because Fred's running for the 33rd Assembly District. Sam Blakesley used to have it. You know, Fred, if you win, and I think you might win, I really do, because Matt, I like Matt. He's a go-getter. He had the guts to run against Lois Capps, who's
right.
who's cannot be defeated.
And you have to give him credit for that.
I have to give Matt credit. He's but he doesn't have any expectations. He's never been elected to nothing. Etta Waterfield's never been elected to anything. So to me, it looks like it's boiling down between Cacho and Fred Strong.
Okay.
And you look like you've got a lot of history and you've done a lot of work. Tell us what that's about.
Well, we talked about this at the beginning of the show,
Yes.
and we actually stopped this. I submitted 13 pages of testimony, line by line, item by item in that document. We got over 50 amendments to it, and we did save local government. We did not get that regional government. So thank goodness for that. We wound up with this 33-page document when we
They
it was all
talk
done.
about regional government and stakeholders in it. Isn't that one of the
Absolutely.
words, stakeholders?
Oh, everything's